Every cigarette begins its journey in the quiet fields of dawn.
Only the finest leaves are chosen for cigarette production. Precision and timing define the cigarette harvest. Harvested leaves begin their journey to transformation. Each load carries the raw essence of every cigarette. From soil to system, the cigarette journey accelerates. The fields give way to the scale of industry. Ahead lies the world's largest cigarette factory, where raw leaves become a global product.
Every cigarette batch begins with precise measurement.
Data anchors every cigarette to its origin. Traceability ensures consistency in every cigarette. Mechanized precision drives the cigarette supply chain. From transport to system, the cigarette flow begins. Raw cigarette leaves enter the controlled industrial flow.
Inside, scale and control define cigarette production. Measured release prepares every cigarette for transformation.
Inside, the cigarette factory reveals its true scale. Inside, the cigarette factory reveals its true scale. Every cigarette leaf is guided into precision systems. An intricate network moves every cigarette forward. Human oversight keeps every cigarette process aligned.
Balanced flow ensures uniform cigarette production.
Purity begins before a cigarette takes shape. Scale defines the power behind every cigarette. Transformation begins at the core of every cigarette. Order replaces randomness in the cigarette journey. Cleaning refines the foundation of every cigarette.
Airflow sharpens the quality of each cigarette leaf. Even unseen impurities are removed from every cigarette.
Human eyes refine what machines begin in cigarette production.
Technology perfects every cigarette selection.
Cleaning refines the foundation of every cigarette.
Uniformity prepares the cigarette for transformation. Uniformity prepares the cigarette for transformation.
Now, the cigarette leaf is readied for its next evolution. Purified leaves move forward in the cigarette process. Sorting defines consistency in every cigarette.
Moisture awakens the flexibility of every cigarette leaf. Precision cutting defines the texture of every cigarette. Conditioned leaves move closer to cigarette formation. Blending creates the signature balance of every cigarette. Uniform strands shape the core of each cigarette.
Controlled heat stabilizes every cigarette blend.
Subtle infusion defines the identity of each cigarette.
The heart of every cigarette is now complete.
Controlled heat stabilizes every cigarette blend.
Subtle infusion defines the identity of each cigarette.
Blending creates the signature balance of every cigarette. Uniform strands shape the core of each cigarette.
Precision ensures consistency in every cigarette. Controlled heat stabilizes every cigarette blend.
Subtle infusion defines the identity of each cigarette.
Precision ensures consistency in every cigarette.
Structure emerges in the making of every cigarette.
Now the cigarette begins to take its form. Sealing binds the integrity of every cigarette.
A delicate layer encases each cigarette core.
The filter completes the functional design of every cigarette.
Precision cutting defines the final shape of each cigarette.
Each cut delivers a finished cigarette with precision.
Joining transforms components into a complete cigarette.
Precision alignment defines the uniformity of every cigarette. Uniformity defines the scale of cigarette production. Laser precision guarantees uniform cigarette dimensions. Every cigarette is checked before it moves ahead. Controlled airflow defines the experience of each cigarette.
Every cigarette filter meets strict performance standards.
Preparation leads each cigarette toward its final form.
Speed meets precision in cigarette grouping systems.
Each cigarette finds its place with absolute precision. Packaging structure forms around every cigarette. Each cigarette finds its place with absolute precision. Packaging structure forms around every cigarette. Nothing inside a cigarette pack is left to chance. Every cigarette pack must pass strict sealing standards.
Performance testing validates every cigarette before release.
Exact weight ensures consistency in every cigarette pack. Random checks guarantee full production integrity.
Stability ensures every cigarette maintains its quality.
Approval marks the completion of every cigarette's journey.
Only perfection continues through the cigarette system. Only perfection continues through the cigarette system.
The cigarette reaches its final structured form.
Approval marks the completion of every cigarette's journey.
The cigarette reaches its final structured form.
From testing to final preparation, the system flows without pause. Every cigarette carton is digitally tracked worldwide.
Sealing protects every cigarette until it reaches its destination.
Every cigarette carton is digitally tracked worldwide.
Sealing protects every cigarette until it reaches its destination.
Controlled storage preserves cigarette quality before shipment.
Scale transforms production into global distribution.
The journey of every cigarette now becomes global.